Hello and welcome to Think and Be Well. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. If you've been here before, please consider sharing this with someone else. Today I want to talk about being at war with yourself, with your body, with your mind, with whatever it is that gives you pain. We all live with pain from time to time, but sometimes that pain becomes chronic in one way or another. And too often, we get angry with our bodies. We get angry with ourselves and the thing that is ailing us. If it's chronic pain that you live with every day, it's not uncommon for you to get angry with your body and to create an adversary out of it. But this is a very unhealthy position. And I will tell you from my own experience that when my body, historically, this is how I've gotten up. And so one of the things that you're going to sort of see or hear throughout this and in future messages is a better understanding of what getting up means. Getting up is motivation and should be motivation. Historically, that's where I would love to tell you I've kept it. But honestly, there are times when I'm not going to let my body determine what I'm going to do. And I've in that mindset, what I've done is I've created an adversary of my body. And over the years, in order for me to get up and get out, I have pushed my body. And it's not just getting out and doing things that I enjoy. When I have to do extensive amounts of work and my body gives me feedback that I need to take a break or that I need to take a rest, I don't do it. Because what I've done is I take that feedback from my body and I ignore it. And actually, I'm a highly competitive person. And so what I actually do is I push through as hard as I can to whatever end it is. If it's a task, if it's something that has to be done, if I'm out, it doesn't matter. When I get that feedback from my body, I have in the past created an adversarial relationship with my body. So when my body tells me something, I sometimes don't listen to it. Maybe too often I don't listen to it. But there's a fine line, in my mind, there's a fine line between listening to your body and having your body control your happiness. And so figuring that out is the balance, right? There are times when I will listen and I won't do anything for a whole day. But when it becomes 3 days of that, then in my mind, it has become too much and I'm letting my body decide my happiness. So there is a balance to all of this, and it sounds like a quagmire, but here's what we don't want to do. And I am very thankful for the recent experience that I've had with yoga. So you've heard me talk about meditation. You've heard me talk about how that helps your mind. It helps you really understand how to be mindful and actually helps you understand how to be happy and content and have gratitude for where you are currently in your life. What yoga has done is it is actually in just 2 sessions, it has actually caused me to get in touch with my body in a way that I've not ever done before. We carry tension in our body all the time. And while mindfulness, at least in my practice, which is ever expanding as I learn more and engage more and do more, mindfulness and meditation has been about watching my thinking. And that's helped me stay in a state that is good for me. But I haven't really gotten in touch with the tension that is in my body. And meditation does this too. There's a body scan in meditation. It's part of a regular meditative practice. And I've done this and I've felt the tension. But something about yoga really puts a spotlight on where you are having tension and where you carry tension. And I believe it's doing this because of the stress you're putting yourself in. Some of these yoga positions have not been easy for me. And so you're having to find this place inside your mind and inside your body to work together towards a pose. But that's really surface level when you think about it, because what it's really training you to do is for your mind and body to work together, period. And some of the balancing poses are really tough. Actually, I found a lot of the poses presented me with a little more pain than I normally would have. So what I did in these poses was I knew where the stretch was happening. You could feel where the stretch was happening, whether it was in your hips or in your hamstrings, or if you're balancing on one foot and you're trying to figure out how to balance, the more tense I got with the balancing to try to balance, the worse balance I had. I had much more success at balancing when I used my mind to help relax the muscles in my body. And then I wasn't shaking so much back and forth. It's fascinating. And I know it's something new for me, and you may hear me talk about yoga a lot more along with meditation. But we don't listen to our bodies, and we create when we create an adversarial relationship with ourselves, our bodies, because our bodies give us pain. This is not a great place to be, where finding joy and happiness in life is. This body is something you carry with you. It's not going away. As much as sometimes we wish it would, it's not going away. And we've got to learn how to treat it. I know I do. And this actually, a breakthrough happened to me, I don't know, months ago, back in the fall of 20. And I went to a particular therapist who did stretching with me. And in stretching me, I was finding these places that just were so inflexible. And I became, in the middle of this stretching therapy, I became so angry with my body. And I kept just saying over and over in my mind, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And so that realization that I hated my body is something that was sort of a wake up. How do I then take that hate and move it into something that's not hate? I don't let my body keep me from doing the things I want to do, but I also am not kind to my body. In fact, I've spent years punishing it, pushing it through things just to show it that I'm the boss. So that sounds really strange to say out loud, and it may sound strange to hear. Do you have an adversarial relationship with your body? I think there's an easy test for this. What's the first thing you think or see when you look in a mirror? I think a lot of us see the flaws first thing, and if I'm the only one, then that's just me. But I've talked to a few people, and that seems to be the case. Flaws that no one else sees, we see first. So if you look in a mirror and you see the things you don't like about yourself, they're not flaws, by the way, the things you don't like about yourself, then you've got an adversarial relationship with your body at some level. Now, maybe you don't go to the extreme that I do, where I hate it. I hate the way it feels with pain all the time. And I push it and I punish it to show it that I'm in charge. This is a bad place to be. So I'm kind of bearing my soul to you a little more than I normally have in the past, perhaps, because this is a very, very important aspect of happiness and joy. We can't have resistance. We have to look at pushing through resistance, because resistance happens, but we don't have to carry it with us all the time. When we do carry resistance, it shows up as tension in the body, tension in the gut, tension in the back, tension in the legs, tension in the jaw. People get headaches because they clench their jaws so much during the day because of the tension they feel. They don't even know they're doing it. And these have ill effects all over the body. So it's important that we find a way to make friends with our bodies, to make friends with the vessel that carries who we really are, the energy that we are, that carries us through this life. I have found 2 methods that work: meditation and now yoga. But I will tell you this, it doesn't just happen overnight. I will tell you that I have seen and felt very, very real successes in 1 or 2 meditations, 1 or 2 yoga sessions. But practice over time, just like riding that bike. You don't just jump on a bike and start riding down the street. You have to start slow. You've got to find your balance. When you find your balance, then you can have that joyful bike ride. That's not unlike what you have to do in order to find balance in your life. It takes practice. So if you try meditation or you try yoga, 1 time, 2 times, try it, commit to it, and commit to it for a month. Commit to that for 6 months. I promise you, you will see results. The point is, recognize that there's a war sometimes between you and your body, but then also realize that you can't have happiness and joy in your life until you address and accept who you are. This is how we're going to bring about the lives that we want, the happiness that we're searching for. None of it is easy until we find the balance in ourselves between our minds and our bodies. We won't be able to really find the happiness that we're looking for in this life. So I would urge you this week, discover where there's tension. Discover where you're feeling tension in your body. And see if you can breathe into that space. Just take 3 breaths. Into the nose, out through the mouth. And breathe into that space. And by that I mean, as you take these breaths, think of where you're feeling that tension. And think about and visualize the release of that tension. It will go a long way towards your wellness. Thanks for watching. And if you found a vibe with the message, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can also hit the bell if you want a little reminder when new content is posted. Think and be well today, my friend. And peace.